Is that Selena?
Huh?
Is that Selena?
I don't know. No.
Do it. Do it, man. Do it. 75 to 92.
And KHFC 95 assumes no responsibility for its content. And the Wade and Carter Show bears all responsibilities for their opinions and guests on their show.
Deadly flooding in Europe. Dems that flee Texas paying the price. All that and more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show.
Who is the guy? Who is the guy? I saw him at HEB. He's no weight range, probably mature height. He's round. He's 260-ish. And I just got back from Vegas. I caught up on the show. I'll be in there on Monday. White guy. I feel like I should.
Leicester?
Maybe. Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Oh, stole your line, didn't I? I'm like Ron Burgundy. If it's on the teleprompter, I read it. Stay classy, Victoria. Helps we have sound.
Yeah, it does. There we go.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Good.
Good.
Trying to steal your lines.
That's all right. Let's do this.
Folks, Wade and Carter Weather is brought to you by the great, great people at Deerland Feed. It is 77 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today of 92. Under what they're calling partly cloudy skies. I think it's going to be mostly sunny. You have anything to add to that?
Yeah, a little fog this morning in some areas, so watch out for that.
I
didn't see it. But I do see the idiots that still drive with other lights on at dawn.
There are cars that are still made with just manual headlight switches, but you've got to reach there
not
and turn
a
those
late
on.
model Hyundai SUV.
Right. Put it on automatic. That auto deal is for your protection.
Yeah, really. If you're that, trying to think of the nice way to phrase this. If you're so forgetful in the morning when it's still dark that you can't turn your lights on physically.
Well, how do you drive in the dark with your lights on?
I don't know. I don't
know. Used to around here, you could drive by the light of the flares from the Eagleford, but those days are over. No. That is a true story. I was on that highway between Gonzales and Cuero one night and literally turned off my headlights because you could just see. It was, I just did it to prove that I could do it. 3 deer and a hog later, I turned them back on. Going to be a nice day. The folks at Deerland Feed are there for you, whether you need seeds. If some of you folks are coming out of this. Some of your grass died. Some of your grass. And by the way, it's hot again. Don't neglect your yard. I had to water some yesterday. It's hot. And the wind got a little breeze going. It's a convection oven here in town. So be aware and take care of your plants.
Matt Boucher is going to come on the show next week.
Fantastic.
He's at the Extension Agent Convention, I think, this week.
Wow.
So he will
the Aggie Convention.
Yeah. So he will most likely.
Wow.
So he will be in next week, but I think it'll be a good time for him to come in and talk about that stuff. Richard King, good morning. Bobby Leister's in. AJ Latterback, Karen Webb, Diane Tippett, Judge Posey, Bobcat Watley. Good morning, Kendra Douglas, Lisa Poole.
Good morning, Judge.
Leisterometer, yeah, it was Bobby Leister. You're right. He's back from Vegas.
Oh, yeah, he's back. He got all caught up. He said he missed a couple of shows, bless his heart. Whether you had a good day or a bad day in Vegas, I'm not sure how it affects you if you came home and listened. Like if you just binge listen to us, I'm not sure how that would go for you. You could be like on suicide watch.
You could.
Welcome home, Bobby.
Glad you're back safely. If I would have known you were going, I would have given you a 20 to drop on the Flames to win the Stanley Cup next year.
That's something on red.
Mickers, good morning. H.R. Mallory is in. Justin Glass, B.J. Nelson, good morning. Checking in from Lake McQueenie. Chris Conrad, good morning. Matt Boucher, as I speak of Matt, there he is. Scott Tomko, Lisa Poole, Scott Snow.
Good looking group. Robin Moore Knipling is in. Good morning, ma'am.
Lisa Poole, Johnny Hodden, good morning. J. Mark Jameson.
Hello, Mark.
Adam Sugar, good. Congrats to you, Adam. And the little missus, because I feel for her, 10-pound kid.
Yeah, good job there.
Silas.
Adam Sugar has Silas at 10.5. Look like 10.78.
Sizeless.
Right.
Size more. trying to think of a way to work that in because that's a big kid.
If that kid had been twins, he'd have been Paul and Silas.
Exactly.
That's crazy town. 10.5 pounds. Sure, that's not Cody's kid.
Or Cody.
Or Cody. Little Cody. They're in a competition. The Sugar Boys are very competitive. It won't be long. We'll get the news that Cody's going to have another one. I didn't even know they were Mormon. I mean, it's just crazy. They're just spitting out kids.
Stuart Martin, good morning. Junior Samples.
Somebody's got to run the farm.
Yeah. Richard King checking in. Kendra Douglas.
Where is Ricky King
John
today?
Paul Hall says volume went from good to bad. So hopefully that fixes it.
See,
I don't
right there,
know.
I hear some static. I don't know, people.
I don't know either.
Ash and I have a dream that one day we'll have a board. It'll be only our board. It'll be in a studio filled with leather and old books.
Turn on for a minute.
We can do whatever we want to do. Great weekend. Ash is going to tell you about the Generals. The Astros are still enjoying the All-Star break. They took a little time off this weekend and got beat by the White Sox 2 out of 3. Ash and I disagree. He thinks the White Sox are for real. I think the White Sox are pretenders just because they beat the Astros after the break. We're still banged up. We're on maternity leave. Astros are going to be just fine. I think they're going to roll through the rest of this season. You're going to see the Astros in the World Series. Hide and watch.
I'm not saying that the White Sox are on par with the Astros. I just don't think they're as bad as Mike Stanton tried to paint them to be over the weekend.
See Torrin Bales checking in. If you're out and about downtown, Torrin kind of.
You can always tune in to Magic 95 or the Magic app if the sound is giving you some issues because it looks like it's good there.
Torrin will treat you right. I was just driving by the other day. He was out there, had his paw hat on, and I just stopped to get me a bottle of water. Felt sorry for me, I think. We got to visit and look at it. He does the most beautiful job with his landscaping. If we ever have an opportunity to have like a beautification czar, I would love to put Torrin in charge of that. And he could say, put some of this there. I mean, he would team up with Matt Boucher and find the right plants for the right situations. Torrin Bales could beautify this city. I have no doubt about it.
Astros dropped 2 of 3 to the White Sox. That's what troubles me.
Nah, they're all right. They're all right.
I hope so.
People on assignment, Who was
Hockey half minute? NHL teams protected lists were unveiled over the weekend because the expansion draft for the Seattle Kraken is Wednesday. Carey Price, the goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens, maybe the biggest name and maybe the most surprising name left unprotected by the Canadiens.
But name that nobody knows.
He was the goalie that got him to the Stanley Cup Finals.
He wants too much money.
He's already making too much money.
There you go. The other day,
$10 million. He's 30. What is he? 35 years old. He's on the back end of a contract, but still got a lot of years left. I don't know if Seattle takes him at $10 million a year.
So not this weekend, but prior to this weekend, who's been batting fourth for the Astros, or is it Watts that's been batting fourth? Now you go Altuve, Brantley, Alvarez, Correa, or was it? Is Yuli?
No, I don't think Yuli's there. I don't think Yuli's in.
So
in
Altuve, Brantley. Anyway, Dusty Baker was talking, and whoever he moved, and I didn't watch enough yesterday to see who he moved into the cleanup spot. But this is how simple our 70-plus-year-old manager is. He said, well, when you bat cleanup, your job is to, clean it up. And he hasn't been cleaning up lately, so I moved him out of that spot. I don't know who that is. I don't know who batted fourth.
Brantley batted fourth yesterday.
Well, there you go. So Michael, who's a wonderful hitter, of course, he didn't clean anything up either. That Rodon,
Astros only managed one hit.
Well, that game. Rodon was bringing it the other day.
So he ends up, he gets the win. 8-3. That ain't too bad.
Rodon?
Yeah.
There was a guy the other day that faced the numbers were crazy. He had 23 up, 22 down. I mean, it's like he'd had one walk.
I'm trying to think where he played. Did he play? I think he's always been with the White Sox.
Probably. with a name like Rodon. That sounds like something would fight Godzilla.
Out of Miami, played at North Carolina State.
What's BJ Nelson say? She looks
We
very
have Keep
serious.
Victoria Beautiful. Check out our website. We've had a few city cleanups already and are on month 3 of awarding businesses in town with a beautification award. Get involved. Contact Christy Yoker at the Solid Waste Department of the city. And
I think when you get back, BJ, we'd like to have you come by and talk to us about that. But just Keep Victoria Beautiful by committee, by having meetings and covered this suburbs. I'm talking about Torn Bales being the beautification czar. I mean, a dictator, ruthless. Get your spade, get your mulch. That's how I picture that. You just turn it over to Torn, and it's like giving it to a hitman. An ugly, he's the hitman on ugly. And then he needs the authority to go out and give people little bonuses for doing it right and little citations
tickets
for
for
doing
doing
it
it
wrong.
wrong. Yeah.
Can you imagine if they showed up at your office and said, your place sucks? You can either buy these 2-potted plants for $50 from Torn Bales
Or pay the fine.
or pay the fine. The Torn Bales beautification czar. I like it. It's got legs. This could last. And you notice he's not fighting it. He's willing to do it.
BJ says she thinks Torn's too kind to do that sort of thing.
There's some possibility in that, although I don't know. I think what's funny is, I mean, my office, GSM Insurers, best agency on the planet, we are a Torn Bales tenant, and it's uncanny. You know, some offices you go to and like after the freeze, the plants are just laying there on the ground. Not ours. I mean, Torn's over there in day 2. They're all replanted. It's beautiful. Awesome.
So numbers are in from DHS, 180,000 migrants captured in June alone.
That's exaggerated. Let's ask Pete.
180,000 illegals captured in June. Here's the scary part. 35% of them, not the first time they've been caught. Since October of last year, almost half of everybody captured at the border has been caught on a previous occasion.
So why shouldn't we, just quick thoughts. You're breaking into my country. Why shouldn't we inject those people with some type of a tracking device or right there on the inside of their wrist, tattoo a little stripe, tattoo a little spot so that the next time they come over, you know they've already been here. Don't need a lot of paperwork. Assign them a number.
Spray them with a dye that can't be washed off.
Brand them. Boy, I guarantee you, if you started branding people when they came across the border, they'd think twice about it. Put a Lone Star on them. Texas.
What if they cross in Arizona or California?
What do you mean y'all can't hear anything? That's not good. Torn Bales can hear us. Tracy Price can hear us.
Good morning, Tracy. BJ was hearing us.
There you go.
Check out the Magic app. Check out Magic Victoria.
I do like BJ right there.
Too.
Call Christy and she'll help you schedule a cleanup. That's good.
Magic95victoria.com. You can listen there as well.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
So what do you make of these numbers though? Seriously, like
180-something thousand.
180 again.
They're catching 1 out of 10. That's almost 2 million people came across. That's what I think. What do y'all think? 1 out of 10? You're hearing about
DHS said what 30? What did they say? What did I quote the other day? 55% they're catching about half. So that means 360,000 are actually coming across the border in Texas alone.
Right. So my 2 million a year is a little short. It's closer to 4 million a year. Just giving you the real numbers, people. That's crazy town.
Adam Sugar says, can't you just ask one of the sheriffs if there's more illegals coming or if they're just finding more?
You know, Adam, seriously, it's both. We've gotten a little bit more intent on finding them. I used to think I was going to give Biden credit for something. That I think we have stepped up in spite of Joe Biden on finding them. But there was a video. So truth is truth, right? It doesn't change just because you're situated. It's not situational truth. And there was a video of Joe Biden when he was campaigning. And this is just to make you feel good about the fact that you don't like Joe Biden. There was a video of Biden saying, come on, man. Trump says there's going to be a vaccine. Who's going to take it? You're going to rush out and take the first dose? You're going to jump out there before it's FDA approved? Who's he kidding? Who does he think is even going to take this vaccine? Now, 6 months later, you're irresponsible and selfish if you don't take this vaccine.
I saw the video and I questioned some of those things because they are chopped up and edited, and the context is lost a lot of times when they. And the same thing when they used to do that stuff. It's the same thing when they did that with Trump. All Mexicans are rapists and killers, right?
Right.
So I take it with a grain of salt, but there's no doubt they were questioning. They did question the vaccine at some point.
But I don't understand why, going back to that, just as an aside, when Trump was openly talking about MS-13, he was talking about a gang that happens to be Mexican-based. He wasn't talking about the Mexican people. He was talking about a gang called MS-13. And he said they are rapists and murderers. And you're letting
as would be most gang members.
Right. And the next thing you know, they said that he was accusing an entire nation.
Yeah.
It was just such bad politics. Much like your friends, the Democrats, we'll talk about that after this break, but your friends that are up in D.C., Allen's Record Service, folks, 578-6300. Allen's your go-to. They were busy this weekend.
578-6300. Yeah, I saw them on the road on Saturday.
They worked a gig for H.R. Mallory. I saw them this weekend. 578-6300. If you need them, they are the best of the best, and there are no of the rest. Just get them or call them.
Bobby Leister says the Magic app wasn't working so well, so that tells me it was probably an internet issue and not a Wade and Carter issue. Makes me feel a little better.
We're being targeted. The VCS companies for all your surveillance,
Communication
security,
needs.
all your communication needs. If you're a first responder, you need FirstNet. It's a dedicated network for our first responders. Keeps you in the loop, even if
you don't have it, what are you waiting
for?
for?
Go get it.
I've only been telling you to get it for 5 years now.
That's a true story. 5 years of VCS being our banner sponsor. What a great job they do and what a great commitment they've made to this format. We appreciate the Hartman family immensely. By the way, it's your weekend to weed their flower beds.
Yeah, I know.
Chesapeake Furniture, 70 years at their location at 116 West Juan Lynn, the corner of Juan Lynn and Bridge. Bobby, Leon, and his family have been serving your families, your grandparents, and some of your great-grandparents for 101 years. Chestnut and Love make your house a home, and you simply do better at Chestnut. Reach out to them for your next furniture purchase. 50% off, especially if you mention Ash Wade. Veracruz, today's the day to jump right back into it. Just get in there with both feet and a big old greasy plate of cheese enchiladas. Man, I call that enchilada sauce, I call that gruel. Minnie Bennett had a birthday over the weekend. She wouldn't want anybody to tell you that she's 75, but it was on social media. That's not HIPAA violation.
HIPAA violation.
75 years old and still waiting tables at her restaurant. Fantastic lady, fantastic legacy, and a great family spot for you and yours.
And she puts up with you.
In fact, I'm going there today for lunch to tell Minnie happy birthday. How about that? By the way, AJ's Detailing. I went by this weekend just because I thought, hey man, can I use that window cleaner? Hey, can I use that chamois for a minute? He doesn't use chamois. He uses microfiber. Yeah, ShamWow. The Bassomatic. But he also grills meat while he's piddling in the garage. There was a Tahoe in there, Ash, that was so, it was like looking into a pool. It was so shiny.
Really? Was it blue?
Black. All blacked out. It was an RST. It was a brand new one.
I've never looked into a black pool, so I'm curious.
That was from the Flintstones. Your eyes are like pools of ebony. But looking in there, and he had before and after pictures, and they had buffed it at the dealership. It had swirls on it. He takes all the swirls off the car. It's just unbelievable. Nice. It made me aware that I don't need a black vehicle because it's endless maintenance. But it is beautiful.
I'm going to get by there this week.
You've got to.
I had a little episode this morning.
Yeah, he's not going to like it, but he's got an extractor. He can hit that with water and suck that coffee right out of that floorboard.
So, true story, there's a Great Pyrenees that wanders Levi Sloan, and he was way down the end of Levi Sloan, probably a couple miles from his home. And I had just pulled out on Levi Sloan this morning, and he was dragging and wouldn't get out of the road. So I stopped my car.
He just didn't care anymore.
No, it seemed like he didn't.
He had been hooked up with a lab mix all weekend and was just worn out.
He was all worn out, dragging. Queso's his name. A lot of people in the area are familiar with him. But he wouldn't get out of the road. So I stopped my truck, and he comes to the side door, right? I'm like, go home. Just standing there looking at me. I open my door. He jumps in.
Sure.
Jumps in the back
He
seat,
knows.
right? Yeah, he knows.
He smells all the other dogs.
Yeah. So I drive him home, and he lives about 2 miles away, and I have to go out of my way because I have to go past my usual turn down Oliver and drop him off.
Sure.
Well, he gets all excited when he sees his house, jumps over my console, and my coffee goes everywhere.
And yours is not a small cup of
No.
coffee.
It's, it's a good 24 ounces of coffee. So
What did Roy Gutierrez say? Queso was what? That's probably not good.
did I miss it?
Yeah,
No, it just disappeared.
it was there, and
Yeah.
I guess he took it. Did you take that down, Roy? Said something about queso. Sheree Brissett wants
Yeah.
to come by and talk about a
Marriage reset thing, right?
marriage
Is that what it's
reset
called?
thing. You know why I don't want her to do it?
Why?
I'm afraid our wives will make us go. Can you imagine? I don't do good in group settings. Okay, everybody, we're going to have dinner. Then we want you to go back to your cabana and make love for hours.
Roy says he was doing the walk of shame.
Right? Right?
Torrin asked, what's worse, the coffee or the dog hair? Probably the coffee if he wouldn't have.
Well, it's
It would have been the dog hair, but when he spills 24 ounces of coffee on
the shacker walk. He's just been shacked up. You have to just the shame. Was his hair matted? Was he dirty?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so bad.
He was a wet, dirty mess.
Yeah.
They want to congratulate Haley Bird. She is the new Miss Victoria, crowned over the weekend.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Adam Sugar asks, how do you break dogs from chasing, killing chickens? You keep them away. I don't know of a way. Honestly,
as
Adam.
great an animal as Stanley Pup is, make no mistake, Stanley would partay on those chickens.
Yeah, I don't know if Stanley would. I know Bellados does because I caught her. It wasn't good.
Shaking one around. That chicken. Did you at least pluck it and gut it and fry it?
No, I buried it
Oh,
under the
geez.
tree.
You and all your pets. I'll go out there one day. You're gonna have like a 900-pound steer that
Torrin says he would have walked him real slow outside the car.
Oh, there's no chance that animal's getting in Torr's car.
No.
He barely lets Lola, the wonder dog, get in. I went by, so Lola was there. Lola's got a big old scar of just badassity on her forehead from fighting with Brody, the lab mix.
Really?
Yeah,
That
got a tooth in the top of the dome.
Oh,
Lola's awesome.
that ain't good.
She's like, I'm like, hi, Lola. She's like, it's great. It's a good time to tell y'all we had a wonderful time Friday. Our first impromptu coffee clutch. Everybody met us over at Las Palmas. Very, very proud to have Bill and Barbara Posey.
Johnny Houghton bringing value says if a dog kills a chicken, tie the dead chicken around their neck until it rots off. They'll never touch one again.
Well, there you go. Yeah, but Mr. Humane over here would never he didn't mean it. He was just playing with it. Bill and Barbara Posey were there. Emmett Alvarez and Lee.
That was a bipartisan group.
It was really a nice group. Judge Posey showed up.
That's some good
Cora
conversation.
Bales, Dale Zook. I was looking for Mike Gomez to come. He didn't come. Nice exchange of ideas, different ideas. I thought we did talk some politics. We talked some breakfast snacks. We had a great time.
Enjoyed it. We might have to do that again one day.
It was fun.
So is anyone excited for Jeff Bezos to blast off into space tomorrow? I think it's
Yes.
tomorrow morning, right?
I can't wait. Will the major networks cover it? Will it be news? Is it news?
I mean, I don't know. Richard Brantley already went, or Branson already went.
When
last
did he go?
week. He went into space. So
Did they come back?
Yeah, they came back. This is a quick little flight.
Do they land and come back? I guess you go up there and you're like on the outer edge.
Yeah, we talked about this, remember?
No.
Looks like a World War II bomber.
Correct. Yeah, I remember talking about
He
that.
coerced 5 people from his company to go with him because he didn't want to die alone.
They get to a certain height, I'm sure they can unbuckle and they were probably weightless and they could float
I
around.
don't know. That's probably not safety. Not safe. Contents can shift in the overhead compartments.
Right. Tell the truth. You've been on that flight when there's that guy that's never really flown much, and like the flight lands and he stands up, boom, just bangs his
Bangs
thumb
his head
against
on
the
the thing,
overhead.
yeah.
It's awesome.
That's the only time they shift in the overhead
Yeah,
compartment.
when you bang your head against them.
But he's what's the lady's name that he's taking with her? The lady that wanted to be an astronaut. NASA basically told her in the 60s, "You're a woman. You're not going to be an astronaut."
Jane Jetson.
So yeah. But I looked his rocket ship.
Is it high tech?
No, it looks like a phallic symbol.
Okay. You need to go do one of those ink blot tests. You know, oh, that's the female reproductive system. Everything looks like something
Yeah,
reproductive to you.
but I don't know. It's just here. Let's see if I can find.
Let's
Let's
just
see if I can find the picture of it.
Whoa, there's a phallic symbol. What's that doing on your screen? You're looking for rockets on YouPorn? Oh,
Tell me that does not. Tell me that does not.
show that to the camera.
I don't know
That's-
that the camera will
Oh,
see that.
that
but
is ridiculous.
See if I can blow it up even.
Ridiculous. No pun intended. That's
Yeah,
crazy looking.
Yeah,
It's like an apartment on top of the.
it kind of does. It looks like the Space Needle there, doesn't it?
gives new meaning
Yeah.
to the term Sputnik.
I mean, that thing's terrible. Look,
Oh, folks, it's,
blast off about 8 o'clock our time tomorrow.
you know, we change our format a little bit in the summer when the kids are sleeping in, but we're gonna do Sputnik restaurant. Restaurant.
It's got a
rocket
revolving
ship.
restaurant at the top of it.
Can I get a window seat? Can I get a seat near the tip?
Scott Tomko says he hope it doesn't blow up.
Can I get a seat near the tip? Anyway, we're a sick crowd, but we're irresponsible. Tell you who's not irresponsible.
Who's that?
Terry Murray at Motto Mortgage.
No.
541-5454. Terry Murray will help you refinance your home, pull money out to you know you need to remodel that kitchen. You know mama wants you to remodel that kitchen. Make a couple of calls.
Or the bathroom.
Let Terry Murray salvage your marriage. And then you can go to Marriage Reset with Sheree with a smile on your face while they redo your kitchen.
541-5454.
Went Services, Went Electrical. Talked to Carl Went this weekend. He was doing great. Said, man, we're selling generators like ants and ourselves, Cadillacs. It's crazy. Reach out to Went Services for generators, solar panels, wiring, plumbing, all types. You had pipes that cracked or PVC pipes that are broken. I'm going to reach out to them and get them to come over and change my, that backflow preventer. You have that pipe that comes up for your sprinkler system. We got that little chrome or brass colored bell on it. I need to have mine replaced. I'm going to call Went and get them to come over and do that maybe today. They're really good on emergency calls. USA Concrete Coatings, Charlie Garcia and his group. Go now. They've got some new pictures up of another job. It's just unbelievable, the transformation that Charlie
Finally
and his crew
gets
do.
it right.
Yeah, they just radically alter the atmosphere of your garage. Not to mention, while you've got everything out of it, if you want to throw a coat of paint on it, guess what? Get paint on the ground. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
They're
matter.
going to clean that up. They're going to seal the cracks. Then they're going to put down this polyurethane coat that's 4 times tougher than epoxy. Won't stick to your tires, fade, crack, peel, nothing.
Nothing. UV resistant.
It's like concrete, but with flecks of beautiful color in it.
It's awesome.
Patios, sidewalks, pool decks, they do it all. Reach out to USA Concrete Coatings. And then for your next party, if you haven't even thought about having a party, here's the new challenge. Reach out to Cheryl, 920-6803, and just try to find a date that she's available. This is no kidding. She's been so busy lately that trying to get in her schedule has become a challenge. She's still doing it unbelievably well, unbelievably inexpensive. That's why she's so busy. Reach out to Cheryl. Let her plan your next party, sales meeting, bar mitzvah, quinceañera.
Bat mitzvah.
If you want a Spanish-themed bar mitzvah, she can do that. It doesn't matter. Call her. 920-6803. What did Adam Shugart say? He's clearly not nursing the baby.
Called the White Trash Services to get a dumpster. Everything was great, but I was a little disappointed to find out they don't offer Wayne the roof off my trailer with used tires.
They didn't want to help him with that?
No, I guess not.
They didn't want to put the weight down for
No.
them, put the tires up
No,
there?
guess not.
Adam. Come on, Adam.
So is it karma? When
Yeah.
you know where I'm going with this?
Oh, I know exactly. It's beautiful. I don't know if our listeners know this yet or not.
So the Dems that escaped Austin to go take refuge in Washington, D.C.
With no mask.
with no mask on the
ride.
plane, and then what was the narrative on the heels of that criticism, right? A, it was a charter plane, and B, they all had the vaccination.
Yeah, that's what they said. We're all vaccinated.
We're all vaccinated, so we don't need no masks.
What happened?
I think 5 of them get COVID, test positive for COVID.
So technically, they all have to be quarantined.
I don't know. The vaccination kind of throws all the rules out the window, right? If you're vaccinated, you're good. If you're not, you got to adhere to everything else. I don't know.
Here's a question for y'all.
VISD not going to force the vaccination on school kids, so.
Good. When was the last time you heard anything from Dr. Anthony Fauci? Have they got him on the back burner kind of simmering?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is he in lockup with Cuomo?
Well, I don't think he's as prominent as he was. It seems like they have others from the CDC doing a lot of the talking lately.
Jen
I
Psaki?
think Cuomo or Fauci's too busy writing his book.
Yeah. How
It's
I
either
Saved
it's
the
coming or
World.
it's either out there or it's coming. You know?
I wonder how he sees himself, and I'm being sincere. Does he see himself as the only guy who gets it?
No, I think they're trying to hide him from the obvious questioning that'll take place on the gain of function testing that obviously and what's pretty much come to everybody to realize is that, you know, this thing was lab created and came from a lab, not a wet market in the Wuhan.
Right.
Another one of those far-fetched stories that I don't think you and I believed.
No. Really, if you think back, it was the dumbest thing ever that somebody ate bat soup in China, and all of a sudden,
I might have been bat stew, so maybe.
every continent has a pandemic virus. Come on, man. You don't
And to
believe
think that this thing spread that quickly from one person,
yeah, that's
not buying it.
no.
This thing
I ain't buying
this
it
thing
either.
was not only manufactured in the lab, it wasn't leaked from the lab. It was very much calculated and
You see that.
released from the lab. I'm not going to say, DeSantis is making bank with his Don't Fauci My Florida merchandise. Absolutely.
Pretty funny.
But
Got a website you guys should check out, you weekend golfers. It's called Bogey Bros. So BOGEY BROS. And Google it because it's not bogeybros.com. I think it's bogeybros.co. But anyway, the logo, it says bogey across the top in white letters, down the side in red it says bros. And the logo is like a guy, he's finishing his golf swing, but the club's flying, like he's let go of the club. And from a distance, it looks like the PGA logo. I'm sure they're trying to get sued to get some notoriety, and I think the chances are good. But it's really funny.
BJ Nelson asks, does anyone think COVID was initiated to directly affect our election?
Yes.
I have no doubt that was part of it. I have no
do.
doubt it was I'm sure the Chinese Communist Party wished the consequences would have been deadlier than what they were.
Yeah, I
They
think
didn't kill enough Americans for the Chinese Communist Party to be happy.
absolutely. Their hatred of Donald Trump was the cue for them to do this. I think it was 100% spread intentionally in the United States at an opportune time for the Communist Party.
Think of all the lies that the left has told you lately. That of all, and I saw an interesting tweet over the weekend that conspiracy theories should just be renamed spoiler alert, because everything that they've talked about as a conspiracy theory, the COVID, the election fraud, the Russia collusion, the partnerships with China, it's all been spotlight on the Democrats and Joe Biden.
Well, you're starting to see now that so TLAT, and good morning, TLAT, she's been on top of this what some of you would call conspiracy stuff for several months. And she told me the other day, the state of Arizona, and maybe was it Georgia, one of the two for sure, I think it may have been Georgia, is saying they want to recall all the electors and have a recount of the votes. You have your electors go and vote for the president, and this was being covered on Fox finally. And she said, "Look at there, mainstream media is finally picking up what we've been reading about for 4 months. That when the votes are counted, they're going to want to have a recount." So I'm telling you, there's this.
I don't know. I just don't. First of all, I haven't seen enough numbers to say that it would change a count. But I don't know. I don't know what the path or process would be to try to actually.
Bobcat says it's Arizona.
But again, I know they had. We reported early Friday they had a discrepancy with like 74,000 mail-in ballots in Maricopa County alone, which is where the most of that stuff is.
Adam Shear says, "What about the presidents of 5 foreign countries who have died in the past 6 months?"
That's purely coincidental, Adam Sugar.
Of course.
Purely a coincidence.
Yeah, CIA's been here the whole time.
BJ Nelson asks, will former Vice President Biden and Ms. Harris be escorted out of the White House, or will they step down on their own accord? They won't be escorted out. I don't think there's a process in place that will do that, to be honest. I think we're stuck with them for at least for another. That's why they're pushing so hard to get all their spending through, is because they know in 2022 that it's going to grind to a halt and you're going to have an ineffective presidency till 2024. And here's my sleeper pick for 24, Mike Pompeo. You heard it here first. Former Secretary of State. I think he has the gravitas. I'm going to use that word today. It's my word of the day, Steve Kidder. On the international stage to actually put the fear of the U.S. and maybe God into these countries that have now emboldened themselves on the heels of Joe Biden's ascension to the White House.
Maybe best Secretary of State ever, right? Pompeo.
Yeah,
bold, decisive, aggressive.
Had China scared, had the Middle East in their place. You didn't hear any issues out of Iran. You didn't hear Syria anymore.
It's a true story, folks. Like him or not.
Nothing out of North Korea. And I mean, within 6 months of Biden taking office, all these things. And I listened to an interview with him over the weekend, and he said, I agree with Joe Biden sticking to the plan to take the troops out of Afghanistan. He says, we've spent enough money and trained them enough that they should be able to do the job that we're leaving them to do. Them not wanting to do it is another story, but they have the skills and the ability and the training and the investment to get it done. Why they're so scared of the Taliban, I don't know.
What they need to do is, as soon as we leave and the first time the Taliban challenges them, is just very aggressively just squash them. Beat the Taliban down.
Biden won't do that though, because then it would be going back in. And
you do know though that I'm almost positive that from a political standpoint, Kamala Harris is a dead girl walking. I mean, there's no chance that if Biden runs again in 4 years or in 3 years, that he is running with Kamala Harris. There's just no chance that she runs as VP.
How old is he going to be? 82? I don't know how. I don't think he could run again.
Sure he could.
But I don't think she could. But if he doesn't, I don't think she has enough to stand on her own to lead that.
There's no chance she would get the nomination.
No. But that's my dark horse for the Republican Party.
Well, she could get the nomination if she decided to become a man or if she came out as a lesbian, because she is black, she is Asian, and she is a female. If she got divorced, changed sexes, and then became a lesbian, she's in.
I don't know. It wasn't enough for Pete Buttigieg. First time around to be an openly gay nominee. They dismissed him right off the bat. I mean, all the boxes she checks. The Dems didn't want her. She was the first one off the ballot. So, I mean, there was hypocritical with anything else.
My thing with that is if what you do in your bedroom probably ought to be your business. But if you're a guy that's got to go, look at me, I'm gay, you don't see yourself as equal. If you don't see yourself as equal, how do you want me to see you?
Here's the whole reason he did that. Because his record as mayor of South Bend, Indiana was so bad, there was no way anybody was going to even look at him as a potential candidate for mayor.
President. Right?
I mean, president.
They just wanted him to decorate the White House.
Jury's still out to see if Biden makes it to the end of the year.
You didn't even smile. No. We'll put some chiffon. It'll be lovely.
All you had to do was look at the way he dressed, and you could tell he has no chance of decorating the White House because he wasn't a great addresser either.
I went yesterday.
The stereotype was blown.
Tell me what you guys think about the irony, to me, the irony of this. We're trying to Main Street the whole LGBTQ crowd. I have no problem with that, right? Do what you want to do. Live how you want to live. Kind of. But while we're trying to do that, I go into Academy to buy Rylan some cleats.
Yeah.
Why are you holding my hand? And there's an Adidas shoe,
Kumbaya.
An Adidas rubber-soled cleat with a rainbow bottom. And I thought to myself, that's crazy. I mean, they're putting a rainbow bottom on a shoe now. It's a rainbow.
Can it not just be a rainbow?
There are no more rainbows.
Remember when Mork from Work wore rainbow suspenders?
Those are
just rainbows?
No, that is a symbol that has been appropriated, and it is now their symbol. What I thought was interesting, whether you think it's their symbol or not.
couldn't just paint a rainbow anymore.
No, he's making that an LGBTQ painting. The bottom of the shoe was a rainbow, and the model of the shoe, like you get the Nike Vapor Mid, it's the Adidas Mid Freak. Freak is what they call the shoe.
Surprised.
I'm surprised that got by marketing. I'm just making an observation. I'm surprised that got by marketing.
I'm surprised as well.
A rainbow sole on a shoe that might make somebody think, "Oh, look at that! They're acknowledging the worldwide, multicolored deal. Wow, that's cute." And then,
they call it the Freak.
They call it the
Freak.
Yeah,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised the left isn't freaking out over that.
That's a little odd to me. I don't think Adidas was making a statement, but you would think somebody would go, "Whoa! You can't call it the Freak. You can call it the Adidas Inclusion." There you go, the Inclusion Mid.
Inclusor.
Right.
Give it a little more.
But not the Freak.
Yeah.
You want a freaky deal, get to Atzenoffer, atzenoffer.com right now. Chevy, Cadillac, Mazda, Mitsubishi, all makes and models of service.
You're going to usurp my used car of the week. You saw a nice XTS there, was it?
Well, for like 34 and change, nice little car. And it's a really tight little car too. If you don't have a lot of, it's just, you and mama, it's a nice little car. Plenty of room for groceries and stuff, long trips, but you don't have to, it's still a Cadillac. It handles great. It's a great looking car. 34,000 and change sitting on the front of the lot. I thought it looked great. Atzenoffer since 1926, Victoria's dealership, all makes and models, all service, all paint and body. I'm going by today for an inspection because my sticker expired in May. I'm not like Clint Ives. His expired in May of 19. But mine expired in May, and I've got to go by and get that done. HR Mallory told me that's it. Next time I see you, I'm writing you up.
I think that grace period is gone.
It's over. There's no more grace. All I want now is mercy. 550-1826. That's the number for White Trash Services. BJ Nelson will come out. If you wanted BJ to come
Not today. She's in Lake McQueeney.
Right. Well,
But somebody will come out.
In the 7-county region, if you call, there'll still be a body at White Trash to take your call. They'll send out a dumpster or a weekly trash service or roll-off dumpster for a big project. If you have a piece of property that needs to be scraped, I would love to see the project done where White Trash Site Services comes in and just scrapes Mitchell School right off that block. Anybody wants to call that a historic building, ain't been nowhere. That's a dumb.
They can't do it. It's in the city.
It needs to go. No, I think Site Services probably could.
Maybe so.
But reach out, 550-1826. Razor IT Solutions, JP Hull and his family are doing great. They'll do great work for you and yours. Protect your data, get you a pay button, help your internet communicate with your QuickBooks. It's amazing how it can all just roll together seamlessly, and that's what JP does. Reach out to Razor IT solutions, and then the law offices of Steve Kidder. If you want to adopt a baby, if you want to set up a will, a trust, probate something, whatever you need done, you reach out to Steve Kidder. And if he can't do it or doesn't feel
There you go.
comfortable doing
Thank you, BJ. Site Services can demo anywhere.
there you go. You
Thank you
reach
for
out to
clearing up.
Steve Kidder, and he will give you the counsel you need. If you need a different lawyer, he will send you to that lawyer. He's that guy. And then the complete offerings continue to grow. Wraps, salads, bowls, paninis.
The health bar opened 50 minutes ago.
Yeah,
at
they're
7
open.
o'clock.
They open at
So if you want
7.
a healthy breakfast, stop by there.
And at 8 o'clock, you can go up on the north side right there next to Buffalo Wild Wings and pull down a smoothie
Get a
there.
healthy snack.
All the supplements. And we get our supplements there, and they work. They do. I'm telling you. Be down to your weight in no time. I feel great.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone,
Let it
Ash.
go.
Leave it alone.
Leave
Leave
it
it alone,
alone.
Ash. Leave it alone.
Erections lasting more than 4 hours should be seen by a physician or a movie crew.
Leave it alone, Ash.
Folks, we
Ah.
apologize. Sometimes you just
Ah.
hear a conversation between me and Ash, and it's not always appropriate.
Well, interesting study out of my alma mater, Washington State University, that, and again, some of the things that we talked about a year ago or over a year ago, that just wait, it's going to come, right? It's going to come. And well, now it's coming. And some of these are the opioid deaths and the drug overdoses that we talked about last week,
No doubt.
increasing 30 some odd percent year over
Suicides.
year. Suicides, we've talked about the mental health. Well, now the hospitality industry is being hit hard thanks to COVID and the layoffs that came because of the closures, the forced shutdowns, the lack of being able to travel. And Washington State has a pretty good hospitality program, probably one of the best. And
Yeah,
you know,
no,
the West-
widely known. Widely known.
Widely
There's
known.
a couple in New York, I think, but
UH has a pretty good one too. But this unemployment in the hospitality industry reached 37% in
Wow.
April of 2020, mostly due to layoffs. And they drilled down into this. They found that those who were laid off gave up on the industry completely. And that's making it hard for owners of hotels and operators to find the staff that they need
it's
to
hard to bring
run
it back.
these. And this is extending into the restaurant business. Those that were furloughed fared better, given unpaid time off, but promises that their jobs were going to be there when they reopened. They fared a little better, but 37% unemployment in the industry across the country as a result of the forced lockdowns and the forced shutdowns
It's not
a year
good.
ago. And what they're finding is that these folks just said, you know what, forget it. We're
I'm
done
out.
with it. We're out of here.
I'll go work it.
The uncertainty of
Someplace
whether or
else.
not they were going to be shut down again as another wave came, forced a lot of them out of there. And you know, on the positive side, the researcher said from Washington State that there's opportunity now for those in the industry looking to find a job or maybe relocate somewhere.
I
But
wonder how enrollment
Really
in
heard it.
their hospitality programs has been affected at Washington State.
yeah, I don't know. I did not get into that.
Think about
when I
that.
saw,
You know,
but-
all of a sudden, people quit going into a certain.
Well, it
profession.
did touch on the fact though, that a lot of uncertainty for graduates wondering whether they want to continue or how to find another alternative with that degree plan
Right.
or another career path. So, you know, and the professor said, you know, our career search sets you up for hospitality, but really any service-based industry will do well with you and your knowledge graduating from this program. So
Right.
it did talk about that, but it just goes to show you some of the unintended consequences. And also it delved into the mental health of the hospitality industry workers as well. And a lot of them did not fare as well as other industries who were back to work quicker.
Mhm.
So
What do you think is
Patrick Strauss, good morning, listening in from Louisville.
you can hear in there the bleed over of the Hall of Famer Ralph Salazar. I don't know if he's talking to someone or if he's torturing a cat.
I'm not sure either.
I keep hearing this.
Scott Tomko says there's always radio. Anyone can do it.
That's
Absolutely. Patrick Strauss, I know your daughter was moving to Louisville. I
Love you, Scott.
hope you and your lovely child bride aren't moving and leaving Victoria.
So for every person who comes up to me and says, I don't know how y'all do that every day. Like do y'all plan? I'm like, yeah, usually a couple of minutes before the show. How do y'all do that every day? Every day, how do you do it? And then there's a guy like Scott. Oh, anybody can do that.
Anybody can do it.
Scott, we'd love to have you come on the air someday. You can come in here with us. And Ash and I'll just sit over there. Me and Ash and Brother Gary, we'll just
Sit over there.
Turn you loose, man. Just go with it for about an hour. See how it goes.
The first person facing charges related to the January 6th storming of the U.S. Capitol set to be sentenced.
Good.
Paul Allard Hodgkins, charged with obstructing an official proceeding.
What was his name again?
Paul Allard Hodgkins, I think. Is this the guy that?
With the horns on his head?
No, this is a different guy. Another Florida guy, but I think it's
carrying a flag. Ring that dude up. What is he going to jail for? Trespassing?
Obstruction of,
ring him up.
Yeah,
no problem.
They're hoping he gets a sentence of 18 months.
Well, that doesn't seem like much for all that, insurrection. That's not really very much. I would be, you break into the nation's capital, I guess you're getting 5 years mandatory. You're going to jail, dude. 18 months.
That's what they want.
He'll take a drug rehab class. He'll get some good behavior. He'll be out in 3.
That's what they want. Patrick Strauss is just moving his daughter there.
Okay.
I saw all the boxes. I thought maybe you and Lori were moving
where were they moving to?
They're moving her to Louisville.
Okay, well then Patrick ain't moving that far from the coast. He fishes. He's not moving that far from the coast.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Not a bad gig. Get your daughter over there. Get yourself a new rod and reel. Everybody's a winner.
I just saw this story.
What do you got? Oh.
A town in Sardinia.
Right.
I think that's Italy, right? Isn't that one of those small islands off the coast of Italy?
I'll trust you. Weren't you a bureau chief there once?
Yes. A suitcase stashed with cocaine fell from an airplane. $10 million street value on this stuff.
I guess if you find that, you just call Justin Marr, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think it's finders keepers.
I don't think it's good for you to be the guy.
No.
There's a true story, and I don't know any way to describe it to you, but I saw a deal the other day that a guy set a record for jumping out of an airplane without a parachute. It was an intended deal. Now, when I first started watching the video, this is not exaggerating. This guy was pick a number, like 37,000 feet. He had oxygen.
D.B. Sweeney?
It's a true story. This guy jumps out of an airplane at a really high altitude. I mean, he free falls for minutes. And this dude, but there were guys with him, like 5 of them that had parachutes.
Yeah, the smart ones.
Well, and I kept thinking that they were going to get to a certain height, and then one of them was going to grab him, and then they pull the parachute, right? And he jumped without a parachute, and then once he's not going to die, they grab him, and then they pull the parachute. No, brother man, there was a pit. It looked like it was probably 200 feet square. And there was a pit in the ground. It was out in the desert. And there were poles about 30 or 40 feet high and a very loose trampoline-like thing. And this dude went from way up there, steered himself, and landed in that net. And I'm going to tell you that if the net was that big, he landed a little too close to the edge for me at about 200 miles an hour. I mean, when he landed and he was coming down, you see him doing this, and the parachute dudes are zooming in.
I've watched enough baseball over the years that I don't trust that net in front of me because I've seen enough baseballs come through those.
Yeah, I turn my head too.
This guy's trusting basically the equivalent of a baseball net to catch
this guy looked like and when he got there, he flipped over and landed on his back, and the whole net kind of went down, and then he came back up.
D.B. Cooper, thank you. That was the name of it, not D.B. Sweeney.
DB Cooper had a parachute at
DB
least.
Sweeney might have been a hockey player.
Probably.
Yeah. And $1 million at least with him, right?
You think DB Cooper? I think the guy probably really jumped out of the plane, but did DB
I don't
Cooper
think he
live?
survived it. I don't either. It's just a good folklore.
There people have found money, old
Yeah.
money on the woods
Yeah.
and stuff.
Who knows? Some nut job might have just buried it out there. You know what's interesting though? When you mentioned that, that brought me to mind of another story that I read over another, COVID related issue, that a lot of these base jumpers and thrill seekers, they've died. More deaths and injuries to these folks over COVID because of the lockdowns and shutdowns, and the article I read attributed to these folks actually trying this, doing more and more often, because they're not working their 9 to 5 and only do it on the weekend, right? They're out there because they had nothing else to do and they weren't allowed to go anywhere. They're jumping off buildings and jumping off of cliffs and things. But yeah, the deaths of base jumpers and such increased over COVID as well.
When you see those people that they wear, like they look like the little cycling shoes, and they have the thing with the chalk, and they're climbing the granite walls on the. How do you learn to do that? I mean, you make one mistake, you're dead. How do you learn to do that? You see them like they're like hanging by one hand, and then they swing over and grab that rock. What if that rock,
Those are the kids that are responsible for having to tether your dressers to the walls,
right,
and your cribs not having collapsible railings.
Right.
That's what those are. Those are the kids that used to climb out of their cribs and on all the furniture in the baby's room.
Crazy, folks. Not bad for a Monday. We're out of here. It's 8:00. You need to stay tuned for the. Of course,
we didn't even get to this. Colin Morikawa wins the Open.
Yeah.
By the way, youngest guy since Tiger Woods to handle both the British
Boy, was
Open
Royal
and
St.
the PGA.
George's tameable this weekend, though, wasn't it?
Was that tournament there for Jordan Spieth, and he made a couple of bogeys early?
He gave it away, and Houston House gave it away. Okay.
But there was, the all I read leading in was that this is a test of the elements. There were no elements.
There were no elements. Morikawa, clearly a gutsy and really solid player. His play at the he won the U.S. Open. No, he won the PGA
This was second
last
major
year.
this year, right?
No, last year he won the PGA, and really made a gutsy play on 18 last year. He could have
First trip
played
to
it
the
safe.
Open, though.
Yeah, and then he got to go because he won the PGA, and hit a really gutsy shot last year to win that. And anytime you're the youngest since Tiger Woods to do something, you're pretty good.
Yeah. Beat Spieth by 2. Beat
Spieth is back,
Oosthausen
though.
by 4. Oosthausen was the leader going into the final round.
Brandel Chambly said the other day, one of these days, Louis is going to realize that he plays like the best player in the world. He's number 13 in the world.
For 3 rounds.
But boy,
For
he's
3
been
rounds, that's right.
he's been in contention a lot, hasn't he?
Oh.
Heading into that after 54 holes.
He does great. Yeah. Folks, we're going to get out of here. Stay tuned for the Hall of Famer, Ralph Salazar, and our own brother, Gary Moses. Gary does a lot of stuff for a lot of people. He's a Wayne Carter ambassador. He's our guy.
That's right.
When he goes over and does
We can
stuff,
claim him. He doesn't claim us necessarily.
yeah, no, it's not a mutual, it's not a reciprocating arrangement. But when he goes over to do other radio shows, he's on loan from Wayne Carter. That's how that works. We love you guys. Have a great day. We'll be here tomorrow on Tuesday, typical Tuesday. We'll be here. Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.
The Wade and Carter Show is a paid program, and KHFC assumes no responsibility for the Wade and Carter Show.
That was a good deal. It literally just happened. We said, let's just do it. And it was there.
I wasn't sure when it was. I was coming from across town.
So Lee, Bill Slutkin, it was a nice.
I'm guessing that's got to be an internet issue. If the Magic app's having a problem. That's news. That's news for the world. You can leave that up. Voters are saying Emmett says he's done. He didn't figure out an email. When the judge punished you, he said, there's no correlation, 0.
father and his brother, and then his brother's name could win. See what they do, stole a lot of cars. Oh, man. If Ron was just taking a lesson from him and started selling cars. You know what I heard Emmett on the turn around? You know, he was critical of Boston. Well, Boston's been there nothing but a problem. We were there nothing but a problem, Emmett. You know, and he claimed that when I was there, you know, when I was there in Lower Texas, because we know we were there, the streets were still a mess. You know where Texas is, the streets are Emmett's got the block. Back up now. Oh, Brent was in the subway?
Yeah, Brent.
He's got the box. Both times when the way made it sound like, you knew about the seat plant,
Apparently it's gonna happen.
and, all times, he alluded to one of the things that he said, big cry, and the light was and said, the big coat out in the hand, like orange up. Oh, yeah. I thought they get rid of it. Yeah, it's more downtown. There's these young guys, you know, the dad owns like 70 most parts of that already, and the two young guys are trying to open a high-end alert. And across the I am Mexican. Ask John McNeil how well I go. But you know what prices are doing good now. Yeah, couldn't have their just as many as price. Yeah, oh, sweet. We gave a shout out. We gave a shout out to the winner. Oh, hey, we'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.